Hey, that's a sure exciting new CFL rule in the red zone. Not the dead zone. That's not old school. Got a sure exciting new CFL rule that rules. That rules. Hey, Spyder CFL Red-Zone Rule is real cool. That rules and a real jewel. That rules a high-powered offensive tool. That rules. That's a super exciting new CFL rule. That rules. Spyder, Spyder, here comes Spyder, CFL's red zone rule. Hit it! Spyder, Spyder, here comes Spyder, CFL's red zone rule. Want to hear you loud and clear in 2019 in a CFL game live in the 107th Grey Cup in Calgary. Chanting loud in the red zone. Want to hear you? We want Spyders, CFL's red zone rule. Hit it! Spyder, Spyder, here comes Spyder, CFL's red zone rule. Spyder, Spyder, here comes Spyder, CFL's red zone rule. In the red zone. Spyder, Spyder, here comes Spyders, CFL's red zone rule. Want to hear you loud in 2019 at a CFL game live and at the 107th Grey Cup in Calgary, chanting loud in the red zone. Want to hear you make the highlight reel on TSN. Can you imagine? Unbelievable how super that would be, how exciting that would be. Chanting loud in the red zone. We want Spyders, CFL's red zone rule. Spyder, Spyder, here comes Spyders, CFL's red zone rule. Hit it! There we go. You don't see me, but I'm coming. Spyder's coming. Okay, he'll soon appear on the live set for the Spyder's 16th. Can you imagine? Spyder's 16th, part 16 until the spring. I'm gonna pop up here. How you doing? There we go. I'm back. Spyder's back. Hope that wasn't too distorted. I got a direct line. Last time I was had that little tablet, little speaker, like I was explaining, up against the megaphone mic. This time I went direct. It might have been too loud, but the heck with it. You know, it's raw, and that's what we like, okay? We like it raw. Okay, I guess gotta set some things up here. Don't know if we're gonna, yeah, that'll work. And this will work too. Just move this down a little bit. I think so, I hope so. I don't know, we're gonna see. No, that won't. It's gotta go in front more. It's so hard to do. I don't want to cover the schooner beer up. Oh, that one there. Oh, we'll have fun with it, the heck with it. I don't want to cover Ottawa up either. There you go. It's a little different angles on the hats, the new Spyder CFL Red-Zone Rule hats. Okay? What do you think? Spyder CFL Red-Zone Rule hats. We got some harsh lighting there. Okay, it's like 10 to 2 Halifax time. Okay, let's get into this session. Okay, I just want to say on my last session, on actually part 13 and part 14 as well too, I wanted to make a few corrections. Okay, let me just see my notes here. Okay, yes, okay, on 13-14, on the 6 fix, by the way, on the Canadian ratio, I meant to say abolish the huge Canadian roster ratio or dramatically reduce it. And also, because I said twice, the Canadian starter ratio problem needs to go. Also, on Ambrosie's declining numbers of less Canadians playing in Canada, it's 8,000 less, okay? From 108, I think he said, to 100,000, not tens of thousands. Sorry about that. And on part 15, I forgot to give the rider 35.7% stat. And I was talking about, again, about my unbelievable numbers and stats I presented on my CFL Red-Zone Rule presentation on January 31st of 2018. And I was talking about the 18% and only 54.8% of an average percentage of touchdowns scored in the red zone amongst 9 CFL teams for the 2017 season. And then it slightly dropped in 2018, but the Riders had 100 tune-outs, led the league, and also was the worst percentage in the red zone for touchdowns scored in the red zone amongst 9 CFL teams of only 35.7%. Can you imagine? So is my CFL Red Zone Rule needed? Wow, is it ever? Okay, big time. And Ambrosie, I think you should have done the same survey I did, because I heard you saying things, and I just want to get right into it, just to finish that off, saying things like this.
There is an answer to how to best do this, and we've got to find a way to get the best players we can find and playing our game. That's no less than the commitment we should have to our fans and the way of reinvigorating.
So no, yeah, you're right, Mr. Ambrosie. Okay, and you were bragging also about how fun and fast their game is. Yeah, a game is fun and fast, and bragging how great it was. But if it's so great, Ambrosie, there's nothing wrong with it, and it doesn't need any changes. And then you're going on, and we got to find the best players to play in the CFL to make our game, and we owe it to the fans. Okay, make our CFL 3-down game played at the highest level, basically saying with the best available players. Well, how are you going to do that, Mr. Ambrosie, with Canadian ratio? Right? And not only that, there's flaws in our game. I found what the survey did. Why didn't you do the same survey? And yes, NFL football is your major competition, and 4-down football versus 3-down football, there are advantages, huge advantages that I went over, okay? With 4-down football versus 3-down football, which I find my survey. It's how I come up with my CFL Red Zone Rule. And the 2 and outs, it's a huge killer and turn off of our CFL 3-down game. That doesn't exist in the NFL, Mr. Ambrosie, okay? Neither does undesirable 2nd down stops in the red zone, with even bigger killers and bigger turnoffs of our CFL 3-down game, resulting in, you know what? Resulting in distasteful, okay? Predictable, non-eventful, easy chip shot field goals, okay, that no football fan wants to watch, okay? They'll turn it off. Basically, our game, 3-down football, that they never hardly ever use the 3rd down unless on the 1-yard line in the red zone, basically playing CFL 2-down football in the red zone. And you know what you get, okay? And you get the 2 biggest killers, 2 biggest turnoffs of our CFL 3-down game that my CFL Red Zone Rule, Mr. Ambrosie, will eliminate completely. That's how powerful my CFL Red Zone Rule is. And that's what we'll do to our 3-down game and make it a lot more entertaining and a lot more exciting brand of CFL 3-down football to watch and be part of. And that's the homework you haven't done, Mr. Ambrosie. And by the way, no one wants to watch a CFL game with most of the points in field goals, okay? All right, in the red zone, they're slightly outside depending on where the second down stop was made in the red zone, Mr. Ambrosi. So I think you got to be straight up and start being honest here. Seriously, you're manipulative. You're beating around the bush. You're avoiding all the questions that you don't want to answer, and you only in your words, you're like a politician. Well, you are. In a way, you are, because you belong to the Canadian Players Association, and you were one of them, like you said, a guaranteed Canadian ratio alignment. So how is this ever going to get done, Mr. Ambrosi, in the Waggle podcast? How is this ever going to get done? How are you ever going to eliminate the Canadian starter ratio, which is a big killer of a 3-down game? And what about second down stops in the red zone, resulting in easy chip shot field goals, non-eventful easy chip shot field goals? The other two biggest turn-offs and killers of a 3-down game. What are you going to do about that? People are going to continue to turn off. And the turn off that you don't allow the best available players, and the turn off that you won't do anything to improve our CFL 3-down game other than give us more challenge flags thrown all over CFL 3-down on our CFL 3-down football field. Why don't you bring in my CFL Red-Zone Rule and bring in a real rule that's going to make our CFL 3-down game itself better and make it a lot more entertaining and a lot more attractive brand, a lot more exciting brand of CFL 3-down football to watch. Okay, that it's going to attract more fans and attract more viewers. Okay, and fill all those empty seats throughout the CFL. That's what you should do, Mr. Ambrosi. I think we should, I should be the commissioner of the CFL. And by the way, I'll get something done. I'm a straight shooter, and I know what's wrong with our CFL 3-down game, and I've been a CFL fan a long time to know. And I know the game, our game, okay? And I played a lot of sports, and I listen. I listen to the people that are turned off, that don't watch our own brand of CFL 3-down football game in our own country and only watch NFL football. That should be a serious problem, Mr. Ambrosi. And that was exactly what my survey was all about, and why I did my survey, okay? And my findings, what I found out, how I come up with my CFL Red-Zone Rule, okay? But no, you're like this, Yeah, just like when I did my presentation and this, how you snowed me. But you know what? You snowed yourself. And now you're squirming, okay? Anyway, I got to get into more on what I want to say, and I didn't want to end my last session like that. I wanted to do it better, finish off with a session like this, going in to the spring, and I'll be back in the spring, okay? So basically, I played the clip, okay? I went over the mistakes, okay? And the thing is, the problem with the CFL is the structure, like I said also. How are you going to get anything, unless the Canadian Players Association, okay, that's made up of mostly Canadian players and carefully selected Canadian O-linemen, guaranteed starting Canadian O-linemen, like keeping, okay, running the association, not even fairly represented with American players, unless that's, okay, broken, okay, brought down, and that changes, and the owners, you got to do it, okay, threaten to close your franchises, like I said, American players join with them, okay, all right, as one, and also lock them out, they got to be broken, okay, because nothing's going to be done, okay, and Mr. Ambrosi's basically one of them, so there's got to be some major changes made in the CFL, and the major structure changes, or nothing's going to change other than they're going to lose more fans, and there could be more empty seats. And I hate to say it, but our CFL 3-down game will be in jeopardy, and our CFL 3-down game CFL franchises are going to fold. They're on the verge now. Okay, so now I tell it the way it is. I give you the facts and the truth. Okay. And by the way, if I own a CFL team, okay, I'd want, naturally, okay, but I want the CFL to blossom, and I want my seats filled. I want fans to come in and watch CFL 3-down football play at the highest level with the best available players. And yes, I'd want Canadian players on my CFL team, and even a Canadian O-lineman that was good enough, that could earn his spot and start, and he was Canadian, even though no one goes to a CFL game to watch a guaranteed Canadian racial lineman, that's being grossly overpaid, $250,000. They're not even good enough to play in the CFL, only there because of their passport, Canadian passport, and the guaranteed Canadian starting ratio, okay, that gives them, basically hands them the spot automatically. Here, it's yours. You don't have to be good enough. Just get on the field. Oh yeah, and our CFL quarterbacks didn't get killed and injured for the year. Yeah, Mr. Ambrosi. But this is the problem. I want Canadian receivers if they were good enough, but there's not very many in the league right now. Okay, they used to be, but not now. And because that's the type of player that football fans want to see more. Okay, but I want the best available players, and only the Canadian players that wanted to play in the CFL and not the NFL. I wouldn't want those. Okay? And like I said before, the CFL has to go to an open draft. Get rid of the Canadian starter ratio and abolish the huge guaranteed half a roster, Canadian roster ratio. Guaranteed. Imagine. And have an open draft. And draft the best available players. No matter if they're green, Japanese, orange, red, pink, okay, or Mexican, or European. So the best available players can play in the CFL at every position for entire CFL game, okay? That's exactly what's going to happen. And so the coaches in the CFL, like every other professional sports league, NFL, NHL, okay, NBA, Major League Baseball, and yes, MLS soccer, okay, even MLS soccer, that allows the best available players to start and play at every position for entire game in their professional sports leagues. That's what has to happen, Mr. Ambrosi. And you know what? If you can't deliver on that, you need to be replaced. Okay, simple as that. Because our CFL 3-down game is, franchises are going down, and our 3-down game is going down. Okay? And you need my CFL Red-Zone Rule as well. You need Spyder's combo. So I'm on a roll here, and I'm hitting home runs here. Okay? You like I said, yeah, I went over that. How you said how great our game was on the web. I did that part. I'm going to talk about, okay, also, you know, you got 28 schools in Canada, right? You got 28 schools. All right, you got 800 schools in the United States. Okay, and out of the 28 college football programs in Canada, only maybe 6 of them are good programs. The rest are very, very weak. Atlantic Canada here, St. Mary's Huskies used to be a dynamite. You know, they used to be a powerhouse. They don't get anybody who goes to the games because they're not one bit competitive, even in our league here. And as you know, Katie got beat like 80-3 or something by Western. Come on, it's really changed for the worst. And I ran into, I want to tell you, a St. Mary's player. Okay, just recently, last weekend in the grocery store, I went and approached him. And we got talking, and he agrees with the Canadian ratio, and he also admitted, okay, like I found in my survey, okay, that CIS players, they don't even watch, they look down the CFL, they think it's second rate, they want to go to the NFL, be drafted in the NFL, they don't want to play in the CFL, and yet there's a Canadian ratio being run by Canadian players, okay, and they're guaranteeing, you know, starting ratio alignment, like keeping, basically running the CFL and dictating who starts and plays in the CFL when they don't even watch it and want to play in the NFL, not the CFL. Okay, this is unbelievable, and he admitted that to be true, and I found out in my findings. Okay, there's confirmation twice. Okay, I told him about my CFL Red-Zone Rule. He was blown away. I talked to him for like a half. He was blown away by it. He was anxious when I was leaving. He was on his phone trying to find it on YouTube. He's blown away by it. Just like everybody I surveyed that introduced my CFL Red-Zone Rule too. Yeah, exact. It's identical every time because it's a winner and a natural and tailor-made for a CFL 3-down game. And will make our CFL 3-down game a lot better and a lot more entertaining, a lot more exciting brand of CFL 3-down football to play. I mean, to watch and be part of. And by the way, look at the 10 powerful super features and benefits of my CFL Red-Zone Rule. Check that out on one of my YouTube sessions, okay? I don't want to try to make many mistakes here. I got to get going because I want to finish up here. Oh yeah, so you need 300 plus Canadian players. Imagine that. And with injuries, you need more. CFL teams have gone through 75 players to 80 players in a season. Can you imagine that? And half of them are going to be Canadian. Okay, and they need 7 guaranteed Canadian roster spots, guaranteed, starting spots guaranteed, and backups, okay? And half the roster, backups and half that are guaranteed Canadian. Okay, it doesn't matter if they're good enough or not. Okay, they're on the team, just like that. Unbelievable. Why even hold training camps for American players? Mr. Ambrosi, you need more American players playing in the CFL, not less than what you're doing. It's exactly what you're doing. And the CFL is going to go down because of it. It's going to go down. More and more, as I read, this, since I've been on last, have gone now to the Lions Football League. Manziel has now disappeared because he wants to be down there, so he's gone to see if Ambrosi released him. Anyway, no loss anyway. He wasn't even good enough to play in the CFL. He wasn't. He was not good. It's a harder position to grasp. He's not good enough. So anyway, think about all the players you need. It's just out of this world, and they're not, the top ones. Just like this guy said on Let's Talk CFL. He was a former guaranteed, he says, Canadian O-lineman. He was on this recently in a few podcasts back, and he was saying that he wouldn't even have made the roster team with the guaranteed Canadian roster ratio. And that's how he became a starter, he says, so they could fill the guaranteed starting Canadian ratio. He said, and he says it's ruining the league. He admitted it. It's watered down the league. The talent pool is being depleted because the CFL can't. They won't allow the best available players to be recruited by the coaches, and won't allow the coaches to play the best American players in the CFL at every position and for entire CFL game. And here's the problem too, Mr. Ambrosi. $50, $75, $100, $65, $45, like up to $100 to watch the CFL game live. That's why there's empty seats. They're not going to watch the CFL game live when the coaches can't even recruit the best available players, can't even start the best available players on the roster. Can you imagine? They can't even start them in the CFL playoffs and the Grey Cup game as well. Can't even start. They have to start Canadian players at 7 guaranteed positions, even if they're not even good enough. They have to throw them out there. It's just like, it's like 7 less players in a lot of cases that aren't even good enough. They're on the field out of 12. They're so weak. And that's true. And the O-line as well. And they're getting paid all this money because they know they got the coaches and the CFL teams, handcuffed. And, they're basically, they got a gun pointed at their head. I hate to use that term, but not literally, but it's true. And they demand all this money because you have to play me. You got to start me. You got half the roster's got to be Canadian players because of my Canadian passport, Canadian ratio. And by the way, we're running the CFL with our Canadian Players Association, with our guaranteed Canadian O-lineman keeping as the president. We're running the CFL. We dictate who starts and plays in the CFL with our Canadian ratio. Can you believe this? And it's like this. The gentleman said on Let's Talk CFL, he says, and then the top Canadian players that down the college, right, playing U.S. college, they're going to the NFL. Laval, now the top players, and the top Canadian players that don't even show up the combine, or and they're not even committed to the so-called Canadian CFL draft. It's a joke. It's got to be an open CFL draft. It's got to change, and they're not committed to playing in the CFL. Not even committed. And now they got the 1-year contracts so they can go more freely to the NFL. It's a joke. It's a joke. The way the CFL structure is a joke. 322 agents. Can you imagine? Calgary's whole team is depleted. The Grey Cup champions because of it. Same with the Ottawa Rough Riders. And Ambrosi, come on. Who's running the CFL? The Canadian Players Association keeping and running the CFL. Come on, owners. Threaten to close your franchise down. Shut your franchise down. Lock them out. Break them. Get them out. Come on, they're ruining our game, ruining the CFL. What is going on here? I'm telling the real truth. This is what's happening. And I'm really getting upset about it. Really upset about it. So we're down to the latter part. By the way, I sent an email to Mayor Savage and Mr. Dubé, CAO, okay, of Halifax City, and the LeBlanc group. I copied them too. So it's going to be great. And by the way, I'm getting ready to close out, and I get really upset, and I do get really upset. I'm really, really upset about this. And what I'm telling you is the truth, and it's bad. It's real bad, and it needs to change. And from now on, you know, I've done enough of that. I said enough of that, and I'm going to concentrate on my Radio Blitz, my Facebook page that my son's going to be working on this weekend. We're going to get it up in a couple weeks, and I'm going to be totally concentrated on promoting my CFL Red-Zone Rule and preparing for the Touchdown Atlantic. We don't even know where that's going to be, but I assume it's going to be in Moncton, and the Grey Cup game in Calgary, the 107th Grey Cup game in Calgary, where you'll see us with our Spyders CFL Red-Zone Rule hats, our new hats, and the new banner. By the way, it's going to be the same as that banner there that my son redone. And I guess you could use both words. And so, and also, he's going to change out the hats and have the Spyder CFL Red-Zone Rules hats rather than Spyder's proposing CFL Red-Zone Rule hats, okay? So, I'm getting really excited here. There's a lot of excitement happening, okay, around my CFL Red-Zone Rule, and I'm just going to keep going. And we're going to keep selling it and promoting it and getting it out there, and please get the word out, okay? And we need to build the momentum, like I said, and we got to build it up. And my ultimate goal is to have thousands of CFL fans join in and behind my Spyder CFL Red-Zone Rule, and to chant loud in the red zone and the live CFL game in 2019. We want Spyder's CFL Red-Zone Rule, and at the 107th Grey Cup in Calgary, we want Spyder's CFL Red-Zone Rule. We want Spyder's CFL Red-Zone Rule. I want to see you there. I want to hear you too, loud and clear, chanting, "We want Spyder's CFL Red-Zone Rule." Let's make this a reality. Let's make this happen.